Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. I hope that your week is going so well. My name is Rebecca Gage, and I am coming on here today to talk to you about the power of your imagination. How many of you know how incredibly powerful you are? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you understand the power of your mind, of your imagination. So, you guys, last week on my live video, I talked about how you can begin to really take control of your thoughts. I've actually been talking about this for a couple weeks now. The week before that, I talked about, ways that if you struggle with negative self-talk, there's definitely some things that you can do to begin to gain control of that negative self-talk, right? And then last week I talked about how you can really focus your thoughts and allow yourself to step into more positive thoughts and how you can really stop those negative thoughts in their track immediately and switch gears and get into a more positive mindset. So I will link those down below. If you missed those live videos, definitely go back and watch them. But this week, I want to just switch gears a little bit more from, controlling your thoughts and watching what you think into more of this fun and creative side of your mind. You guys, your minds are so incredibly powerful. You have the capability to shape worlds, to create worlds, to create with your thoughts and with your words and with your actions and the things that you do. So today I want to talk about, the power of your imagination. So as you are hopping on with me live, please, please, please say hello. I want to know that you're here. I'd love to be able to say hello back to you. Let me know where it is that you're tuning in from. Also, if you are watching this on the replay, as always, #replay down below. So did you guys, I have to start by saying this. Did you guys hear my big announcement? Woo-hoo-hoo! Yesterday, I shared a really big announcement inside my group and on my page announcing a new live show. I am so incredibly excited to get to announce this to you guys and share this with you guys. I had it on my heart a couple of weeks ago. I am all about action. I really am. You guys, if you've been watching me for any amount of time, you know that I take massive imperfect action all the time. I encourage you to do the same. I encourage my clients to do the same, because when you have those inspired thoughts, those things that come to your mind that you're like, man, this would be really cool if I did that, but you don't take action, that's a big no-no. You have to take action, right? When you get those inspired thoughts and you get those inspired ideas, you have to take action right away. And if you can take action right away, you will start to gain momentum and you'll start to gain clarity and you'll start to gain so much. But it's in that action. You guys, I will always say this, like, do not sit on ideas for too long. Have you ever noticed this? Watch. Like, you had this really amazing idea for something, right? And it doesn't matter what it is. You had this really amazing idea and you sat on it for a couple weeks or maybe a couple months. And all of a sudden, you see someone else who is doing the thing that you thought of, right? Like, how often does that happen? It happens all the time, you guys. So don't sit on those good ideas. Don't sit on those inspired actions and those inspired thoughts. Like, take action with them. But anyways, I, had this idea a couple weeks ago and I was like, I have to run with it. I don't know exactly what this looks like. I don't know exactly what this means, but I have to take action. I know I do. So I am going to start a new live show. It will air on April 2nd, will be the very first show, Sunday night at 5 p.m. Eastern. And it is called Elevate, where you will be reminded of your greatness. Because when you focus on your greatness, you elevate everyone around you. So I am so excited to, get to talk to you guys more about that. As the weeks progress, we only have a couple weeks until April 1st, but you will be hearing more and more about this. You guys, I have to just actually really quick share a quick story with you guys. One of the things, for me over the years, I have really been inspired and motivated by so many other powerful women in my life. And, it's through hearing their unique stories and their unique perspectives on life, or, the ways that they have overcome different obstacles in their life. In hearing these stories and in hearing their message, it has inspired me. It has encouraged me to not only really try to live my life the best way that I possibly can, but it gives me the courage to go on even when the going gets tough, right? Even when things get hard, because we all know that things get hard, right? Raise your hand if you understand, especially if you are an entrepreneur, a business woman, things get hard. We know that. That is like a guarantee, right? And it is when you hear these stories of other women who have gone through difficult situations and difficult challenges and overcome them, that have really allowed me, and probably you, to really step into your greatness, to remind you that you do have what it takes, that you can achieve greatness. So this story, some of you guys have heard this before, but I was invited to speak at an event, a rather large event, last year called the Goal Digger Conference. It was hosted in Nashville at the Gaylord, which was absolutely incredible. The whole entire experience was honestly a dream come true. And I have wanted to speak on stages and, speak for a while. And it was absolutely incredible that I was invited to speak there. And, even though it's something that I wanted to do, and even though it was something that I felt very called to, as the date drew closer, I started feeling massive imposter syndrome. I started feeling, like just so many old stories of like, who are you to do this? Like, you can't speak in front of people. You don't have a message. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. And it was a Sunday afternoon and I was working on my outfits for the trip, and I just lost it. I lost it. I just I fell on my ground, like not like so dramatic, but I was crying and sobbing on the floor in my bedroom. I had tears streaming down my face and thinking like, I can't do this. I cannot do this. I cannot go on and speak. Like, what have I done? I have gotten in way over my head. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I am going to reach out to Kimberly Olson and let her know that I can't do this. I am sick. My kids are sick. Like, I can come up with an excuse, but I cannot do this. And I just laid there and I cried and I cried and I cried for a while. Just, having this pity party, having this, like just massive, dark moment, right? And I texted my coach at the time and I was like, I can't do this. I am going to reach out and let her know that I can't go. I can't speak. I'm in way over my head. I just cannot do this. And she texted me back and she said, remember her. My coach and I have talked a lot about her. That is me, the highest version of me. That is who I want to be. That's who I want to show up as, right? And she said, remember her. And you guys, all at once when she said that, as I was lying there crying, I started thinking about all these other women who have gone before me, all these other women who have experienced hardship and been, faced with massive difficulties, women who are, I'm not, relating them directly to me because I know they had a much harder life than I do. And they have achieved way more than what I have, right? But I started thinking about these different women like Maya Angelou or, Amelia Earhart, or all of these women that I don't know personally, but I've read stories about, and I started thinking about all of their stories and the way that they have overcome. And I started thinking about the adversities that they have faced. And I started thinking about the challenges that they had to face during their times. Like, people who have really had to dig deep. People who have had to really find massive bravery, massive amounts of courage to go on in the face of so much hardship, in the face of so much difficulty, in the face of so much adversity. And I started thinking about all of these different women who I've read about and who, I've heard their stories, and I started feeling empowered. I started, being lifted. And then I started thinking about the women that I do actually know. And I started thinking about women like my sisters who have overcome some of the hardest things. And I started thinking about my mom, who was probably at some point lying on the floor of her bedroom, crying her eyes out, wondering if she could go on, wondering if she could do it. And I started, really thinking about all of these different people. My mom lying there crying and thinking like, do I have the financial means to make a really hard decision for me and my 3 girls? Can I do it? Can I go on? And as I started thinking about these different women and, like I said, women that I know personally, women that I've only heard their stories, I started feeling empowered. I felt like I started being lifted on their courage and their bravery and their strength. As I thought about the things that they had to go through, I started feeling more strong. I started feeling more courageous. I started feeling more bold. And as I was lying there crying, like, I started to remember who I am and my greatness because of these other women, because of their powerful stories. And I got up off the floor. And you guys who have heard this story before, I went on to speak at the Goal Digger Conference. It was absolutely incredible. I knew in that moment that this is something that I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to speak. I'm supposed to speak out. I'm supposed to share my message. I'm supposed to share with other people, other women in particular. And it was such a confirmation. But had I stopped in that moment, I wouldn't have gone on to realize that. And so, it is through the stories of other women that we are lifted up, that we are empowered, that we are elevated and reminded of who we are. So, you guys, I am so excited to announce to you the new show. It is called Elevate, because this show will remind you of your greatness. Because when you focus on your greatness, you elevate everyone around you. So I am super excited. Please, please, please tag your friends, tag your business besties, anybody who you think would benefit from this video, from this show, this weekly ongoing live show. Let them know. Okay. So anyways, that was a really, really, really long side note. But I did want to, just share that with you guys. I am super excited to, step out into this new chapter, this new thing. So super excited about that. Anyways, so let's get back to your imagination. Okay. So again, your thoughts are so powerful. And one of the things I shared last week was that if you can change your thoughts, you can change your life. And so, we talked about ways to kind of focus on controlling your thoughts. But now I want to introduce a little fun and a little play. How many of you guys like to play and like to be creative? Raise your hand in the comments. Me too. Sometimes I don't do it enough. And so, over the last 5 or so years, I have really been focused on adding more play into my life. But when we think about our imaginations and we think about the ways that we can use our imaginations to create our worlds, that's when things really start to get fun, right? So I want you to remember that if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. So I want you guys to begin to really start to think about what it is that you want your life to look like, right? Take some time to do this. Like, I love to be able to work with clients and with friends and people that I know and really start to create the life of their dreams. And I encourage you to sit down and take some time, some quiet time to yourself to really let your imagination run wild. If there were no strings holding you down, if there were no inhibitions, if there were no anything holding you back, no spouse, no children, no money issues, no nothing, think about what your life would look like and allow your imagination to just run wild for a minute. What would you do? What would you spend your days doing? What would you spend your days creating? Think about the ways that you would start to have a bigger impact in this world. Start to think about the people that you would want to engage with and the people that you would want to have lunch with and the people that you would want to talk with and congregate with. Think about, the type of environment that you would want to live in. Think about all of those things and really allow yourself the space to, for just a little bit, even if you set just, aside 30 minutes and spend some time really thinking about what it is that you want your life to look like and allow your imagination to really paint this picture. One of the exercises that I love to do with my clients is, writing a story about a day in the life, a day in your dream life. Like, describe it down to the last, the smallest thing, right? Describe it, like what it looks like, what time you wake up in the morning, what you eat, what it smells like, what it feels like, right? Sit down and write a day in your dream life. So you guys, again, your imaginations are so incredibly powerful. They're so incredibly powerful. And when you can allow your imagination to sort of set the stage, and then you sit down and you write those things out, remember that if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. This is our creative ability. This is our creative power. This is the way God designed us to be, right? As we see it first here, and then we create it. So take some time. Take some time to sit down and create your dream life. If there were nothing holding you back, what would a day in your dream life look like? Okay, so please do this. Do this. I am telling you, it is such a fun exercise. Even if it takes you, even if you write 20 pages, sit down and do it, because this is the creative power that you've been given. And if you can learn to play in that space and play in imagination, you can create absolutely anything that you want. So I have to run, you guys. I'm sorry, this was a little bit longer, but we will see you guys very, very soon. I love you all and hope that you have an amazing rest of your day.